They're ancient coral reefs that have died, and they fossilize at the bottom of the ocean. And then as animals die, their bones fall down, they mix with the fossilized coral reef. And so what you get is this large block of limestone. And then tectonic forces push this limestone up above the surface of the ground. And limestone is very susceptible to erosion by water, and it cuts through that limestone. So over time, the limestone begins to crack, the water erodes. Some parts of the limestone are harder than others. Soft stuff in the middle erodes away, and now you have two isolated limestone hills. The important thing is that before those hills were isolated, there were species distributed across those hills. Then they become isolated, and now you have species just stuck on isolated hills, no longer to exchange genes, which means they're on their own evolutionary trajectories. They can go on and evolve this way, this one evolves this way, they're completely independent of one another. And this is how we see the diversity of these limestone formations produced. Each one of these isolated karstic areas act as their own little laboratory of natural selection and evolution. Think of it as their own little vignette of biodiversity, where nature is performing the same experiment over and over and over independently. They're not just archaic museums that are retaining ancient species. These are areas where biodiversity is being generated.
They provide some of the only places in the landscape where agriculture hasn't replaced the original vegetation. They provide water filtration systems. They are also culturally important because temples are built either on top of these hills or inside the caves. Some of the caves attract huge colonies of bats, and these bats produce guano. This guano can be used for fertilizing, and local communities make use of it. At the same time, the bat colonies are really good at controlling pests, so they eat huge amounts of insects that can become pests in agricultural lands. Karst landscapes are often very overlooked. They are very understudied. The main threat currently to karst is quarrying, mining for cement production, for construction.
By grinding down one of these karst areas to make cement, you're hurting the biodiversity of the future.